convinced the starring role belongs to someone else. They watch their colleagues, influencers, successful entrepreneurs, TV celebrities thinking, if only I'd had their head start, their luck, their talent. But let me tell you something nobody else might have. You're the writer, director, and star of your own life. Until now, you've likely been a background character, waiting for someone to tell you what to do, how to do it, and when it's okay to dream. That's because, from childhood, we're trained to follow a preset path. The problem, that right path, wasn't usually our own. It was imposed by family, school, society, resulting in a planet full of frustrated, insecure adults, disconnected from their own desires. Does that sound familiar? Take a breath. Ask yourself honestly, do you know, with crystal clarity, what you truly want? Can you express it in one simple, powerful sentence? I'm not talking vague wishes like more money or happiness. I mean a sharp, vivid mental image, like a high-definition photograph you can see with your eyes closed. Most people get stuck right there. They don't know what they want. How do you achieve something you can't even define? See, when I started, I didn't know either. I was a high school dropout, lost, riddled with self-doubt, a history of failure, low self-esteem, and zero direction. Gas station attendant, car washer, oil changer, whatever gig came my way, my horizon was the next shift. No goals, no purpose. Then I read Think and Grow Rich, and a light switched on. For the first time, someone told me I could design the life I wanted, that it all started with the decision to want it. More than that, to cast myself as the lead in my own story. It wasn't easy. My mind screamed, who are you to want all this? What if it doesn't work? What if you fail again? Fear, the old saboteur, whispered. It was safer to stay in the background because deep down, many of us fear shining. Ever notice sometimes our biggest fear isn't failure? It's success, because success demands responsibility. It demands ownership. It demands looking in the mirror and saying, this is mine. I created this. Ever hesitated before taking a chance, made excuses like, now isn't the right time. I need to prepare better. It's too risky. Those objections are common. Our minds are wired to avoid the unknown, but the unknown is exactly where everything you desire resides. Let me share a game changer. What you imagine clearly, feel intensely, and repeat consistently materializes. It's a law, whether you believe it or not. Like gravity, it works. I remember talking to a friend who wanted a second Oscar. I said, take a picture of yourself holding 2 Oscars, even if you have to Photoshop it. Look at that picture every day. He did, sent me the picture instantly, used that visualization in a seminar days later. Now, he has 2 real Oscars. Call it coincidence. I call it creative visualization with faith and action. It works because your subconscious can't distinguish a vivid imagination from reality. It simply responds to what you feed it emotionally. So what have you been feeding your mind? Images of failure, scarcity, fear, rejection, because if that's what you're feeding it, that's what you're asking the universe to deliver. But if, starting today, you put a crystal clear image of the life you want to live in your mind and repeat it with feeling every day, your outer world will begin to harmonize with that new frequency. Don't believe me? Test it. My challenge. For 7 days, write this sentence 3 times a day. I am so happy and grateful now that I live my life as the protagonist with clarity, purpose, and abundance. But don't just write it. Feel it. Close your eyes and visualize the scene. Live the scene. And watch how your attitude, your choices, and even the signs around you start to change. Remember, nothing changes externally until it changes internally. And the first step isn't achieving something, it's simply deciding you won't live as an extra anymore. The choice is yours, always was, always will be. Your mind is like fertile soil. It doesn't choose what it grows. Whatever you plant there, a seed of prosperity or a seed of scarcity, it will cultivate with vigor. The problem is, most people plant weeds and expect flowers. The earth doesn't question if you're planting something beneficial or harmful. You could plant a corn seed and a deadly nightshade seed inches apart. The earth will do the same for both. Nurture, germinate, and make it real. Your mind does the same. If you feed it fear, doubt, resentment, or failure, your subconscious won't reject those ideas. It will absorb them and start working to materialize them. That's why you need to be hyper-vigilant about what you put in your mind. Most people are on autopilot, repeating phrases like, "That's not for me," "Money is tight," "Only the rich get richer." And every time those phrases are thought or spoken, they become seeds sinking into the fertile soil of the subconscious. And since the soil is neutral, it simply turns those beliefs into reality. Think how many opportunities you've let slip by, out of fear, insecurity, because you'd planted the idea you weren't capable. It's not your fault. It's years of mental programming you absorbed without realizing it. From your parents, school, TV, society, you were taught to survive, not to thrive. The good news is, just as a farmer can pull out a weed and plant something new, you can reprogram your mind. You can replace limiting beliefs with ideas of abundance, deservingness, and personal power. And when that happens, the results change. Not because the world outside changed, but because the seed inside you changed. Remember when I suggested my friend, aiming for another Oscar, create an image of himself holding two? He did it immediately. And more than that, he looked at that image every day. He felt it as if it were already real. He wasn't just wishing, he was emotionally experiencing the future reality he wanted to manifest. This isn't fiction, it's neuroscience. Harvard studies have shown the brain doesn't distinguish a lived experience from a vividly imagined one, experienced emotionally. The same areas activate. So when you visualize with clarity, emotion, and repetition, you're literally training your mind to accept it as true. And what the mind accepts as true manifests in the body, behaviors, decisions, and ultimately, results. Ever notice how, when you believe something will go wrong, it seems the universe conspires to make it happen? And conversely, when you're confident, determined, with that vibrant energy, everything starts to fall into place. That's not luck. It's the frequency you're emitting, attracting what resonates with you. Pause. What have you been planting in your mind lately? More scarcity or abundance, failure or victory, fear-mongering news, or expansive ideas? If you keep telling yourself, this doesn't work, you're right. It won't work for you. Not because it doesn't work, but because you're planting the opposite of what you want to harvest. The mind doesn't argue, it just obeys. As I've told my students many times, you can create your own economy. It doesn't matter if the world is in crisis, if politicians are clashing or the market is tanking. Your true economy is your internal vibration. Your external world is a direct reflection of what you allow to grow in your mind's garden. And that's not poetry, it's pure observation. When I changed my thinking, initially I had no education, money, or connections, but my inner vision shifted. I started seeing myself as someone who could win. And when that settled within me, it was like doors started opening. Opportunities began to appear. Results started coming. Not because the world had changed, but because I had changed inside. Now it's your turn. I propose an experiment. For 7 days, choose an image representing what you want to achieve. A photograph, a phrase, a drawing. Something inspiring, place it where you'll see it every day. Mirror, fridge, phone screen, and when you look at it, don't just see, Feel it as if it's already real. You'll notice something starts to shift. Your thoughts will change. Your mood will change. People around you will notice, because the soil of your mind is receiving a new seed, and when cultivated consistently, it will blossom. You just need to decide what to plant. The rest, the mind takes care of, always has, always will. Everything vibrates. Absolutely everything, you, me, this chair, money, opportunities, all energy in motion, operating on different frequencies. What nobody may have explained is, you can only attract what's vibrationally harmonious with your emitted frequency. And that's where most people get stuck. They spend years studying, working hard, taking courses, dedicating themselves, yet keep reaping mediocre results. Then they say, life is unfair. But it's not unfair, it's misalignment. You're emitting the wrong frequency. And the universe, obedient as ever, returns exactly what you transmit. The law of attraction, so discussed and often misunderstood, doesn't work alone. It's subordinate to a higher law, the law of vibration. That's the one that rules. Everything you feel deeply, fear or excitement, insecurity or conviction, emits a vibration, and that vibration attracts people, circumstances, opportunities, and results that match it. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. That's why, even deeply desiring a life change, many remain stuck in the same old patterns, because deep down, they're vibrating scarcity, fear, doubt, and that's what will return to them, no matter how hard they work. The conscious mind may desire wealth, but if your subconscious is tuned to the frequency of, I don't deserve it, this isn't for me, it's too hard, you'll always be in vicious circles. And that, unfortunately, is what happens to most people. I learned this not in theory, but in practice. For years, I saw intelligent, qualified people struggling financially, while others, with no formal education, built empires. How to explain this? Vibration. While some emitted signals of fear and limitation, others were firmly in a frequency of conviction, certainty, deservingness. I lived this firsthand. There was a time when, without training, important contacts, and with a history of failures, I began operating on a different frequency. I saw myself prosperous, successful, fulfilled. I acted like it, thought like it, behaved as if I were already there. And when my vibration shifted, the world around me started responding. What seemed impossible began to happen. It wasn't coincidence. It was vibrational alignment. Ever noticed how some people seem to attract opportunities effortlessly, while others struggle their whole lives without moving? It's not luck, it's frequency. When you're attuned to the idea of success, the right people show up, the right doors open, the right conversations happen, and you start flowing with life instead of fighting against it. Let me ask frankly, what's been your frequency lately? More gratitude or complaining? More confidence or doubt? More enthusiasm or boredom? Because your vibration isn't defined by what you say you want. It's defined by what you feel most consistently. And that, my friend, is becoming the foundation of your reality right now. I once built a full studio a few steps from my house, a place where I could broadcast content to the entire world. Automatic cameras on the ceiling, top quality soundproofing, mobile production control, something I never imagined possible years before. But I didn't need to ask anyone for permission. I didn't need to seek investors, because I was already vibrating at that reality before it physically existed. And when that happens, things come to you. They're drawn to your frequency. There's no avoiding it. It's like tuning a radio station. When you adjust to the correct frequency, the music starts playing. It's like that with money, relationships, health, everything. The universe doesn't deliver what you want, it delivers what you vibrate. You can try to force success for a while, sacrificing yourself, exhausting yourself, but it will never be sustainable if your internal vibration is misaligned. Because you'll always sabotage what's not in tune with who you believe yourself to be. That's where the key lies. You need to change your vibration before you change the results. It's not money that makes you feel prosperous. It's feeling prosperous that brings the money. It's not love that makes you feel complete. It's feeling complete that attracts the right love. According to research in the Journal of Positive Psychology, people who cultivate positive emotional states frequently, like gratitude, joy, and love, are 23% more likely to achieve personal and financial goals than those who live in states of tension and frustration. Science is now proving what I've been teaching for decades. Want to change your life? Stop trying to change everything externally and start changing what you emit. Tune your mind and emotions to the reality you want to live. Imagine, feel, act, repeat, and above all, be what you want to receive. The right frequency isn't far away. It's already available. You just need to adjust your internal dial, and once you do, nothing will ever be the same because you'll finally be vibrating in harmony with your true potential. And what is yours will inevitably come to you. Have you ever stopped to consider why so many intelligent, studious, dedicated people continue to get the same results year after year? They read books, take courses, attend lectures, take notes. They know what they should do. They know where they're going wrong. But still, they can't change. And there's a reason. Because knowing isn't living. Understanding something with your conscious mind is just the first step. To transform your reality, that understanding needs to descend to the subconscious level. Only then does it become part of your paradigm. And only then does it start generating results. The truth is, you can repeat inspiring phrases, memorize all the principles of success, quote authors from memory. But if that's not integrated into the structure of what you believe about yourself, your life won't change. It will seem like you're progressing, but in practice, you're going in circles. And that for me has always been a clear sign. When the result doesn't change, it's because the paradigm is still the same. The paradigm is like a program installed in your mental system. It determines your actions, your reactions, your perception, your habits. Even without you realizing it, it decides whether you'll allow yourself to try, whether you'll give up at the first hurdle, whether you'll sabotage yourself when you're about to win. And that's why, even after reading 20 books on wealth, many people remain poor, because the conscious mind read, but the subconscious wasn't reprogrammed. What's more intriguing, many of these people believe that understanding is enough. They say things like, I already know this, but then I ask, and your results, have they changed? Because that's what matters. That's what reveals what you've truly assimilated. You can repeat the concept of abundance 1,000 times, but if you're still insecure looking at your bank account, then abundance isn't yet part of who you are inside. This reminds me of a very specific moment in my life. I was working for the Toronto Fire Department. It was a stable job, with a fixed salary, a career path, but something inside me said I was destined for more. I didn't know exactly what, but I knew that wasn't my place. So I did the unthinkable. I quit. Without guarantees, without a plan B, just with the conviction that I needed to align what I knew with what I lived. And I started a cleaning company. No experience, no money, no training, just a firm idea in my head that it would work. In the first year, I grossed over $100,000, an amount that today would be equivalent to much more, and it wasn't luck. It was because my mind had already changed. My paradigm was different. Now let me ask you something honestly. How many times have you had a brilliant idea and not put it into practice? How many times did you start something and stop halfway? How many times did you commit to a change, but a week later you return to old habits? This isn't a lack of will, it's your paradigm defending itself. It's the old programming trying to keep you in the same place. Because it was created for that, to keep everything as it is, but you don't have to remain its hostage. Change is possible, as long as it's from the inside out. Want to know if you've truly changed? Look at your results. Look at your bank account, your health, your relationships, your habits. They are a reflection of your current level of consciousness. And see, this isn't to blame you, it's to empower you. Because if your results are a reflection of what's inside, then you can change the results by changing what's inside. And the most direct way to do this is repetition plus emotion. You need to expose yourself every day to new ideas and engage with them emotionally. Stop settling, seriously. You're capable of so much more than the life you're currently living, a life dictated by fear of the unknown, by the insidious comfort of the familiar. We crave security, a steady paycheck, a predictable routine, but that relentless pursuit of safety is a cage, subtly shackling you to jobs you hate, relationships that drain you, and a life far below your potential. Think about it. How many dreams have you shelved, waiting for the mythical right time that never arrives? The truth is, there's no perfect moment. There's only the courage to begin, even when you're terrified, even when success isn't guaranteed. Remember that kid who dreamed of being an astronaut, then became an accountant because it's safe? Don't be that kid. The difference between dreaming and living that dream isn't some magic formula. It's a decision, a commitment to becoming the person you aspire to be. It's about embracing discomfort, accepting uncertainty, and understanding that growth happens outside your comfort zone. Research shows it takes around 2 months to solidify a new habit, to rewire your brain. So start small, start now. Don't wait for permission, for the stars to align, for some external validation. Your inner voice, that nagging feeling of discontent, that's your soul calling you to the next level. Ignore it at your peril. This isn't about some overnight transformation. It's about consistent daily action. It's about shifting your mindset, not just intellectually, but emotionally and energetically. It's about choosing courage over convenience, risk over routine. The world rewards bold action, not timid hesitation. People who willingly embrace challenges build greater resilience, creativity, and satisfaction than those who cling to the perceived safety of the status quo. Risk isn't the enemy, it's your mentor. It teaches you to trust your instincts, make decisive choices, and become the architect of your own extraordinary life. Realism is a trap, a synonym for mediocrity. Realists wait for the world to change. Visionaries change the world. You have the power within you to create the life you've always imagined. The security you crave isn't found in avoiding risk. It's found in the freedom that comes from taking it. So, ditch the excuses, silence the inner critic, and take that leap. Don't wait for the invitation. Create your own party. Your next chapter is waiting. Click the video above to take the next step. See you in the next one. Stop. Seriously. Halt your current thinking. Because everything you've absorbed about finance might be dead wrong. You can work your fingers to the bone and still end up drowning in debt. Seen it happen? Upstanding, hard-working folks, completely wiped out? That's because relentless effort isn't the magic bullet. The real secret lies elsewhere. And yes, it's revealed right here, in this video. Most people live their lives as extras in their own movie. Wake up, work, sleep, repeat.